so you have it if you want.
Peace and blessings to you, Samantha. Thank you for sharing this space and time together. It is an honor to get to be with you today. And for today, I like that you titled this hypnotherapy, because that's kind of the space that my spirit has kind of been in these past couple of days. So with that being said, get some what is it? Audible exhales, some little shakes in the body. Doesn't have to be any type of way. You can look however you feel it to be. Oh. Okay. And start slowing down the movements a little bit. Find a flow for you. Bringing it to the center. And before you put your hands on your knees, have your palms out like you're holding a ball, like you're holding a little sun, a little star in your hands. Breathe into this energy that you're holding. Now, in this ball, in this star of cosmic energy, put in an intention, put in a word of gratitude, whatever works best for you, or even a statement, and breathe it down. Now, with that word, imagine you and all your family, friends, and loved ones. Now, imagine all sentient beings in this life, in this realm of existence, and put them into your ball. Thank you. Now, in the count of 3, we're going to send this energy up and back to the universe that has given us this space. 1, 2, and 3. Let it be free. Leave your hands up for a little bit to stretch and feel the connection to the cosmic above us and around us. And on your next exhale, make it a big one and slowly put your hands down. All right. And now with that, we begin. We will be doing some breath work. We're going to have 2-part breaths. So it's going to be one big inhale and following inhale, starting from belly to chest. It will sound something like this. With a big sigh for an exhale. And I will let you know when we are on our last final breaths. And when I count off the last breath, how does it go? You take one big deep inhale, you hold it for a moment, and then you exhale, and we're going to retain that space of emptiness. So as a reminder, in 2-part inhale, belly, chest, out. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2. Follow your pace. It is not a race. Give yourself grace in this space. You are doing great. Last 3 breaths. Last 2. Last 1. And 1 big breath together. Hold it. And let it out. Now we sit with it. Dive deep. What is your chi telling you? Not verbally, but physically and spiritually, energetically. Where do you feel the vibrations in? For reference, I feel it in my hands. Feel it climbing up in my arms. Let's do our best to not to take in a breath, but to sit with this vibration. All right, 15 seconds of this retention. You're doing wonderful. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a deep breath. Hold. And create some tension on your root, on your pelvic area, and your abdominal area. And then release. Take in some calming breaths through the nose. We're going to do another cycle of the 2 inhales and release. Starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Release any tension. Take in relaxation. Release any depression. And take in all these vibrations. Release the pressure we give ourselves. And take in the strength we have within ourselves. Five more breaths. 2, 1. And last big inhale. Hold. Let it sit for a little bit before letting it go. And release. Now we retain this space. Do you feel? You may feel so much that we may need to take a breath, and that's okay. Take a little sip in, and then let it out. There's no judgment here. Only finding what is here. Doing wonderful. We have 30 more seconds. And don't, if you need to, feel free to take in your little sip. Fifteen seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. Deep breath in. Hold. Create that tension in your pelvic and abdominal area. Send that root chakra to your forehead, to your crown. And we release. 3, 2, 1. Big, nice inhale in. Sigh it out. And now here, we'll take just a moment to sit with this. Breathe at your own pace. Be the observer of the thoughts, an observer of the sensations. If you get pulled, that's okay. Find your anchor, whether that be your breathing, your heartbeat, the sensation of the air on your skin, and just be. All right. And to bring ourselves back, let's touch our fingers, thumbs touching each fingertip, wiggling our toes, rotating our wrists, maybe even bringing that up to the shoulders. And find the pace that works for you in these rotations. Involve the neck. And take time to sit with what your body is telling you. Let's be the best communicators of ourselves, not just with the thoughts that pass, but with the sensations our bodies are getting. Is it my wrist that needs this little bit more rotation? Do my shoulders need to go back or forward? Does my neck need to be in this spot? What does it say? And if you're ready, feel free to incorporate the spine a little bit, whether that be some rotations or some undulations of cat and cow. The world is yours. It's for you to explore. And with that, if you're on your mat, if you're not, that's okay, because the world is your mat. Stretch out your legs right in front of you. Just like what we did with our arms, let's rotate our ankle. And if you're feeling up for it, feel free to incorporate your knees. Ooh. I know my quads are needing it. I love to run. So I definitely feel that these practices are really great for nourishing the go, 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 the opportunity to now listen to the body instead of running from it. If you feel called to, you can even bring your knees lower, higher, closer, I should say, and your feet to the ground. Do a little bit of windshielding. Maybe a little spot that you just want to sit in it. Ooh, cracked my spine. That felt nice. Maybe even see how you can incorporate rotations. Maybe it's in the hips. Maybe it's in your upper body. Feel free to explore. And with that, we're going to bring our knees back. We're going to be on a seated knee position. Kind of what we did earlier. Let's give a little bit of rotations. Let's massage our wonderful shins that are so strong because we're so strong. But let's also let them know that within strength, there's also tenderness. Yes. But for those of us that weren't aware, our bones not only provide calcium, but they also provide much, much, much blood. Yes, the blood that oxygenates within our hearts and our veins, that connects with the prana that we take in, like we did earlier. So let's be sure to give back to our body that gives us so much within these rotations. Show them gratitude, because that's the attitude. And if you find yourself on the back of the rotation, let's give it a little lean back. I don't know who the rapper was, but let's lean back. And totally up to you. You can either stay static and allow the sensations to build, or you can be a little rocking chair or bamboo and rock side to side or front to back as we stretch out our shins. Ooh, I can feel my fascia already telling me, yes, this is the vibe. We are alive. And if it's too much, don't push yourself. You can always come back. As I come back, now I'm going to go to child's pose. I'm going to keep my knees and feet in the same spot. And I'm also going to allow my arms to just relax. And as we're here, as we fall into our breath, how often do we use our arms? Even when we walk and there's nothing in our hands, we're still using our arms. When we pick up the phone to communicate with those that we love, to communicate to those that we inspire, to connect with those that inspire us, our arms carry that weight. So in this child's pose, don't be afraid to surrender. The body does so much for us. So let's allow our body to have some grace, have some peace in this moment. Feel free to have some audible exhales to sink deeper into it. And with that, Let's slowly, with as little effort as possible, get ourselves up to a tabletop. I'm not even using my head. If anything, my head is now part of the table. It's one of the legs now. And I get to bring it up slowly. Ooh, yes. Now that we're here at tabletop, just as we've done before, let's explore. Do some rotations, undulations, and most importantly, let's not hesitate on our breath. Let's connect. It just dawned on me that our breath, or prana, can be a metaphor for listening. And our body, the physical, can be a form of the outward communicative parts, the speaking. So as our body speaks to us, we show it that we are listening and understanding by breathing. So where is our body talking? Is our hips talking? Do we need to wag our tail and breathe into our tail area? Or is our neck talking? Maybe our shoulders. And show it that we're listening by breathing into that airspace. Or maybe your spine is talking. And show it that we're listening, but letting them know that we can move in so many ways because of it. And now we're grateful to it. And then with that, tuck in your toes. We're gonna sit on our toes for a little bit. You can feel free to have a mudra of your choice. Find your center. As we use this point, let's lock it with our breath as well. And let's connect. Just as we did with our breath retention, if we are starting to feel that discomfort, instead of casting blame or feeling the need to change it because of its sensation, why don't we ask it a question? Why do you feel this way? What can I do to alleviate you? I feel it in my soles and arches. I use you so much and I don't give you enough time to massage you. So I will massage you. Intent for what is to come. All right, three more breaths in this position. Sigh it out on the second one. Now on the third one, let's do lion's breath. Now let's lean forward and tap our feet. Start with the toes. It doesn't have to be super loud. It can be soft like our socks or it can be hard like the surface beneath us. Your choice. And if you feel you've got a good amount of vibration in there from your percussion music playing, you good old drummer, let's bring our feet forward. Let's come into butterfly position. Ooh, I already feel it in between the groin area. Oh, I needed this. All right, now that we're here, and if you didn't get the little teaser earlier, let's massage our feet. I'm gonna take off my socks because I have cute feet. Okay, they may be a little bit lighter than everything else on my body, but that's okay. I love them just the same. And as we do this, let's think about the word symmetry. We are not Our bodies are not perfect reflections. They are perfectly imperfect. If you were to cut one side in half, it will never look like the other side, especially internally. Our organs are not the same on each side. Our stomach even zigzags. So, as we show love to our feet and appreciation for taking us so many miles to so many destinations to go places that we wouldn't have gone to otherwise, let's actually do a little bow and give them a little kiss, or a little bow, or a touch of the head. I don't know where your feet are, so totally up to you. But let's give them thanks. And you can feel free to come up, and now we're going to bring our hands up a little bit. We're gonna massage our calves. Yes. And you can feel free to use both hands on one side or find different spots that work. Because as mentioned, it doesn't have to be symmetrical. It doesn't have to be perfect, and that's totally okay. It's what makes each story so different and so worthwhile. Mm. If you like, go back to your thighs. And one thing that I recently learned from a friend of mine that's a masseuse, you can even use your elbows. So less pressure off your hands. And oh boy, the fascias are feeling it. They said, thank you. Oh, thank you. Now that we're here, and if you feel like they've gotten a good massage, you can always massage them later. let's let's go back to our backs. And as we do, let's rock into it. It doesn't have to be side to side, be round and round. Let's massage our spine. Some of us are so fortunate to have people that can rub our backs. But I think the greatest power is when we realize that we can rub our backs as well, not just with our hands, but with the earth that we were blessed by. And if you feel ready, feel free to either go to happy baby, lazy baby, or whatever you want to do, baby. Feel into it. Let's dive deep. Let's listen. Don't be afraid to explore. We don't have to look like the people next door. It's not about the grass being greener on the other side. We have grass. And even if we don't have grass and we have soil, that's just as valuable. We are here to plant seeds. We are here to grow. So explore. Explore your space. If you want to stay here, stay there. But for me, I'm gonna put my feet down. I'm gonna allow whew, my knees to go side to side. Come in a little bit. That front side of the thigh feels very nice with this exercise too. And for those watching, thank you for coming this far. Thank you for showing up for you. Thank you for listening to you. That's what these practices are for. And for me, if you want to keep going at wherever it is you're going, feel free. If you want to go somewhere I'm not going, go there. But for me, we're going to one of my favorite positions, and that's Supta Baddha. Sounds so funny to say. I like it. But I love it because it has the openness of butterfly, and yet the relaxation of Shavasana. To me, this is a very yin and yang pose. I know it can be considered yin because you can sit in this for so long, but to me, this feels very yin and yang. The yang of the activation and the openness of the groin area, the yin sensation of our backs and our heads and the top of our body surrendering to the earth beneath us. But don't force anything. Listen to what your body has to say. If you've found your equilibrium wherever you are, feel free to find yourself in Shavasana. And for those of us that are going there, let's surrender. If you'd like, you can pause the video and stay here for longer. For me, at least, I will be shaking my toes, moving my fingers, circulating the flow. And before we get up or anything like that, I'm going to bring my knees up and slowly I'm going to tuck my hip bones out. I'm going to pour my bowl. I'm going to lift my legs up for a little bit. Just as we did with taking in the deep inhale and holding it, creating tension in our root. We need to remember to share. Just as Pablo Picasso once said, the reason we have life is so we can find our gift, and the purpose of life is to give it away. So, with the gift of our lower bodies, let's give to our upper body. Let's give to our crown. Let's give to our sacrum. Now I will be bending my knees. You can stay here for longer if you'd like. You can even prop your legs up on the wall if you'd like. But I'm going to bring my knees in and just do a little bit of a hug, or a little bit of a sway, until I find myself on the side. And feel free to stay here in this fetal position. Know that there is no embarrassment or no shame in coming close to yourself, to connecting with yourself. Know that there is grace at the pace of the life that we have in this space. And although our hearts may race, we can always find our grace. So with that, as my tummy is talking to me, I'm going to slowly come up. You can feel free to stay in the fetal position. But for me, I will be sitting up, bringing my legs together, and bringing my practice, for those who have joined me, your practice, to a close. Let's take 10 inhales together. In and out. All through the nose. In and out. In, out. In, out. In, out. 5 more. In, out. In, out. In, out. Last one. Big inhale in. And hold it. And sigh it out. And let's bring our hands to the third eye. To the one that gives us vision when there is no sight. For the one that helps us see clearly in the face of fright. And the one that allows us to show our might when challenged with plights. Let's bring that to our hearts. Thank yourself for showing up for you. Thank your body for being here. Thank you, body, for all that it does. And thank you for not giving up on you. Namaste.
Thank you so much. That was fucking beautiful. Oh my God. I could not have asked for a better late afternoon drop in. Fucking Jesus. That was amazing.
How do you
you.
feel? Tell me.
Yes, I would love to tell you. I feel amazing. That was exactly what I needed. So, like, truly, 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 thank you. I absolutely love the space you create. Holy shit. I love it. It was super unique. I don't think I've ever I haven't quite experienced a space like that. It was different than any yoga guidance. It was different than I loved it. So unique. I love the way you used your words. Amazing. Like just absolutely incredible. There was like a moment that I actually thought like I was like, "Huh, I might cry." Like that would be great. Like I just felt so like it was such a beautiful exploration of like how I was feeling, like just to tune into my own body, tune into what I wanted, tune into what I needed. But like the space was so held. It was fucking awesome. I really loved it. That was amazing.
Um,
Yeah,
so
truly beautiful. Like I'm honestly was not expecting that. That was amazing.
honestly, I didn't know what to expect either, so I was just kind of like, I'm gonna just go with the flow. I knew for me the other day, I actually had a practice. I do a lot of breathing exercises by breathing with Sandy, who does a lot of that retention. And oh, it's so enlightening. It truly is. It's like what I've noticed a lot when it came to my practices, my traditional practice of meditation and even with yoga, you know, we don't really, sometimes we judge ourselves for when we hold our breath. But why? Why are we creating that judgment, you know? So when to actually create space and actually giving space for a retention and acknowledgement that it is okay for us to hold this emptiness, it creates even more space for allowing us to take in. So I knew that's what I wanted to start with because those practices really inspire me. And then from there, I was like, because originally I was like, oh, I just want to do the breathing and that's it. But then I was like, no, let's keep going. And
Yeah.
and as we did, I always think I've thought for myself of what's the kind of space I would like to create for me. And I think that's the most important thing. And for us others that are listening to this, it's so important that we remind others that this is also their space. Just like how we thank them for showing up for you, let's remind them that if they want to sit in child's pose the whole entire process, that's okay. I mean, there are stories of those who are just the masters of one thing, and those allow them to explore and find something deeper in the next thing, and that's okay. And there are those of us that, written by Shakespeare, that we're okay to also be masters of so much more. It's okay to not be a master of one. We can do our best to be a jack of all trades. There's no shame in that. So I'm so honored, Samantha, that you
I'm
found.
so
Oh, okay, let my ego go. I'm gonna drop it. Gonna be here.
what I loved about that was I think it can be very easy to show up to being guided in a class in yoga and anything, like show up to being guided and be a passenger or be like passive to the experience, which I think is different than having the space held. And I really love that the space was held for me so I could like, you know, like the space felt held, but then there was an invitation to not be passive, to actually check in with like, oh, do I want to keep doing this? Like, which is not always an invitation. Sometimes it's just almost like, um, yeah, just going along with what's next and almost being like, you know, like, oh, there's almost a lack of presence with that of just like, okay, I'm just following along, just doing what's next. And it's like, no, actually, what's alive? Do I want to keep doing it this way? Like, what do I want to do? And that was really cool. That was really amazing. It was nice to have such an invitation to explore while also feeling so the space was so well held. And like for me, that's an important aspect of feeling free to explore. Is like I need a really strong space, and then in that I can be like, woo, what do I want to do? Like that was amazing. I fucking loved it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so happy that we get to be partners and for this,
Yeah,
not even just this month, this entire journey that we have ahead of us.
absolutely.
Oh,
Oh,
but yeah,
you
I,
shared me.
oh, yes, and continue to keep taking care of you. You always have your back. That is why it is with you at all times. So I would like to close the space with a big thank you, with a big namaste, and may it always stay in your mouth. I don't know what that means, but it sounded right.
Thank you.
And thank you, Samantha. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, and I look forward to
Well,
practice with you next week.
likewise, yeah. We'll be in touch.
Yes. Mwah. Bye.